The group phase ended with 4 players left standing. The 3 favorites, Todd, Sky, and Moon, have combined for 16 tournament wins this year. The wild card is Hot. He beat Moon twice in the group phase, but he has yet to prove himself against Sky or Todd. Find out who wins the International Esports Tournament on episode 25 of Imbalanced. The group phase over, we have 4 players in a single elimination tournament. All matches will be best of 5. The tournament started with 12 distinguished players. In the first group phase, Sass, Grubby, Infi, and Hooligan all bowed out early. 4 more got knocked out in the second group phase, Psy, Fav, Soju, and Zeus. Hot won his group, defeating Moon, and he will play the second place finisher from the other group, Todd. Todd lost to Sky but beat Psy and Fav to claim second place in his group. Todd and Hot played in the finals of the Samsung European Championship and the first season of the Extreme Masters. Hot won the European Championship, Todd won Extreme Masters. But those tournaments were over 6 months ago. Recently, Todd has moved up the chain of Warcraft 3 players, but he stumbled in World Cyber Games, getting upset in the round of 16. Hot made it slightly further in World Cyber Games by beating Sass in the round of 16, but then he lost to Moon in the round of 8. Their semifinal match started on Twisted Meadows, a good map for the Night Elf player. Todd goes for the Goblin Lab and gets a Tome of Experience. That will get him an insanely fast level 3 hero. Hot goes for the Demon Hunter, forgoing the Warden that seems to be more and more common in Night Elf against human matchups. What's even more noteworthy is the use of Immolation instead of Mana Burn. He manages a Peasant Kill and delays the expansion, but he quickly has to back off his Demon Hunter. Before the healed up Demon Hunter can come back, the Archers and a Goblin Shredder go after the towers. The Goblin Shredder has fairly low health and is expensive, but its damage output is huge. When the Demon Hunter finally makes it back, Todd recognizes that the expansion is doomed. But that's not the only option that the human player has on this map. Todd goes for the option of a tier 1 push with Defended Footman. Hot only has 3 archers and a mercenary in addition to his heroes. Todd punishes him for the small army. More importantly, what this does is force Hot to be more conservative during the rest of the series because Todd has shown he's willing to tower push whenever Hot overextends himself. The map system in the tournament is pre-selected maps, so no loser choosing the map or anything like that. But if Hot did choose a map, Turtle Rock wouldn't be a half-bad choice for him compared to some of the other maps. They spawn on opposite sides of the map, so Todd goes for an expansion at the base adjacent to his own. He has to watch out against some tough creeps. As always, Hot is all over what he's doing. He comes in with a Demon Hunter and Immolation again. The harassment hurts as always, but it's really nothing spectacular by Hot. Hot comes back just as the expansion is finishing, and he brings a Naga with him. His archers are weak, but he forces Todd to bring some militia out to fight off his army. Hot puts up an expansion of his own at tier 2. The position of the expansion is rather close to Todd, but it allows Hot to take out a red creep camp at the same time. It's a slightly risky play, but against Todd, he needs to do everything that he can to win. They fight, and Todd has a full 80-foot army, but it's tier 2 against tier 3. Hot doesn't have the firepower to break through the breakers. Todd hardly even focuses on the Naga, but the accumulated damage on it makes it very easy to finish the hero off and take the battle. Todd goes into Hot's base with an 80-foot army, and Hot is still recovering from the earlier fight. Hot goes after the Naga. Todd makes it invisible, but a quick Dust of Appearance counters that. In the end, the Naga falls, but the Naga of Hot has to town portal out without much of an army left. Hot resigns the game and has to hope for a huge comeback, down 2-0 already. The first 2 maps were pretty good for Hot, but the third map is tearing a stand. Basically, expansion heaven for the human player. Not only can they get the first expansion up, but the second and third expansions are very easy to get up also. Hot goes with the Warden and creeps out his expansion first to get a level 2 Warden. Todd also creeps his expansion first and puts up an Arcane Tower very quickly. That one Arcane Tower makes the Warden's harassment useless. That doesn't change the Warden's effectiveness against Footmen. Todd tries to harass, but the level 3 Warden easily massacres the Footmen. Todd goes for the all-important second expansion. Both players already have one expansion. If Todd can pull off a second, he'll have the advantage and a near lock on the game. Hot pulls out Hippogriff Riders, a unit hardly ever seen on the competitive scene. Their piercing damage wreaks havoc on the towers, but that haven't finished, but against water, elementals, and Stormbolt, they fall quickly. They might look like a cheap unit, but they come in at 300 gold a pop, not the cheapest option by a long shot. Todd already had some workshops for either tanks or mortar teams, so getting flying machines to counter air takes almost no time. That forces the hippos to back off while Hot tries for his own expansion. Todd goes on the offensive with an 80-foot army. Hot smartly unmounts his hippogriffs to dominate the flying machines. To make it even worse, Todd is fighting with the same number of Spellbreakers as Hot has Bears. If he keeps up that ratio, he really needs to get some strong range support to help his front line out. Both players are unwilling to fight, even though Hot has the better hero. He still needs to push a fight, or Todd can just mass up a 100 food army easily off of 3 expansions. That's what Todd does, while Hot only has an 80 food army, and 10 of that food is Hippogriffs, which are useless when Todd doesn't have air units. The illusions of the Warden fall fast, showing the insane firepower of Todd's armies. When Hot commits to fighting, Todd has a much larger number of Spellbreakers and the healing scrolls to back them up. It's an absolute